Hello there, Poke fans. Welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Matt, or you guys can go ahead and call me Surge. We're going to continue on with our Season 4 ranked battles, but just a moment of your time. If you haven't watched the last couple of episodes, I tried out our first team, which was the opener for Torkoal Lilligant, and that team has seemed to be able to run its course. It's not doing as well as I would hope, but it's because of the fact that I had completely fundamentally screwed up on the fundamentals. So in this video, we're going to go with a couple of teams that I have built, and one of them I used in the friends tournament and has seemingly swept our friend group. So our original team is right here where we had, oops, not that. Don't know why I was up there. Anyway, so we have our fundamental team. That's where we started out with, which is the Torkoal Lilligant open for the chlorophyll having double speed, which give Lilligant 312. The fastest Pokemon on the field to date without Tailwind becoming a factor. So that's why this opening is so strong. Now, a lot of people are using this open, so a lot of people have been able to come up with a counter, which is why this team isn't doing so well. Besides the fact that, we changed some stuff for the Garchomp, so now it holds Life Orb and has Protect instead of Sword Stance. I didn't really get to use Sword Stance, and the only way that I'd be able to use it if I swapped the teams around to make it so that it can buff one or two more times to really make that change, because at +4 with Sword Stance, which is make it really, really hard for anyone to really combat this. But when Pokemon like Lilligant and Torkoal, even though that it can take them out, it's really, really hard to. Rotom is there just because of nostalgia purposes, and he did a really good job. The main thing I used him for was the Will-O-Wisp, and I think I could do that with like Mimikyu, who not only knows Trick Room, but Taunt now, because Woodhammer is great, but I had no way to stop other people from setting up, which is something I noticed in the last few episodes. When hitting Ultra Ball, I saw a lot more people using Trick Room teams and being able to pretty much counter the Torkoal Lilligant style with having other Pokemon to battle against those. So like Water Terra Amoonguses were rampant. Hariyama was used a lot. Hatterini was used a lot. And obviously Armarouge is still going to be a huge factor in playing the game because of Flash Fire or Weak Armor. Now, the one thing that I did notice in one of my videos I released, I was like, I wasn't sure what the ability was for Armarouge. It was in fact Weak Armor because it only gets a boost off of getting hit by physical attacks. Now, I thought it was just meant by any attacks, period, because there was that Poltegeist Pokemon that also has Weak Armor, but it triggered off of every attack and not just physical attacks. But that could be wrong, because usually when you fight Poltegeist, you're not in a group, and because you're not in a group, there's some people using physical attacks. So that was my understanding about the entire thing. But people are using Armarouge to kind of battle against it, like other Pokemon. Well, it's like in the mid to slower tiers in speed. The thing is that you have to deal with Pokemon like that. Like they have Trick Room, they have Wide Guard, so that they can have NDD set up for Expanding Force and stuff like that. So the team that I had created, I created 3 variants, and team 4 is the one that we used in that video that had completely got stomped on. At least I think. Some variations have been made from that team, but here's the team that I used for our friends tournament, which is the Torkoal Lilligant Open. But I also have Hatterini to do Hard Trick Room, Iron Hands for Fake Out, Klefki for Prankster, and Amoonguss for the Spore user. I did not use Lilligant to use Sleep Powder in this. Hard Sporing is a lot better of a feature, and because I have one person that can set up Trick Room, it seemed like a better option for me. So let me go ahead and explain this team and why I picked it for the Friends tournament and why I built it in general. Because everyone was making hard counters to Torkoal Lilligant and doing either speedy tiers of speed, like either Tailwind or Trick Room. The biggest factor that I had was Trick Room being a huge thing. The other thing from Team 1 is that everyone's speedy without Trick Room, so I didn't have to worry about it, or so I thought, but that isn't always the case. Mimikyu can open to set up Trick Room, which then sets up anyone else on this board except for Klefki and Lilligant. Those two are the fastest Pokemon in the team, period. Everyone else has mid to low 60s. So you can see 183 for Iron Hands, 88 for Amoonguss. We've got 84 for Hatterini, and we have 68 for Torkoal. Now, because everyone's having a counter for that, I added slower Pokemon to this team so that I can have it worth more in my bases. Trick Room for Hatterini to be able to set it up. She's tanky enough to be able to last a couple of hits from most Pokemon, except for Annihilate, just except for that Pokemon. It can handle a lot of the Ruin Pokemon from testing, so she's going to be able to last on her own. Plus, Magic Bounce, something that we figured out in our friend tournament, negates Taunt. I did not know that, and neither did my buddy, who I had to face off in the finals. Taunt, if anyone doesn't know, stops Pokemon using status-based moves. So, Spore, Sleep Powder, Tailwind, they have to do an attack. And so Magic Bounce reflects Taunt and actually puts it on the other Pokemon so that they can't use it after that, which is funny. So she's got Life Orb because she doesn't have to have a mental herb. And even when people use Quash for Murkrow or even Oranguru, she's gonna move last anyway. So you almost have to knock her out first turn or stop her some other way, because she's gonna negate Thunder Wave, she's gonna negate Sleep Powder, she's gonna negate a lot of stuff just because of the fact that those are status based moves, which is, again, really funny. Iron Hands to do Fake Out, the obvious Fake Out, and Gothitelle gets Fake Out, Grimmsnarl gets Fake Out, Hariyama gets Fake Out. There's other Pokemon that do get Fake Out, which is really prevalent in the game now, and something that I never really got to use very often. Now, the build for Hariyama, not Hariyama, but Iron Hands, is really, really weird for me. I think everyone does a different strategy, and I go with, where is he on this list? He's not on this one. Maybe he is on that one. Where is he? Oh, there he is. So this is the way that I have him trained, which is attack, HP, and special defenses. Even though that he's got Assault Vest, his special defenses are weaker. Now, his attack got the biggest benefit, his special defenses got the bigger benefit, and then his HP got the middle to low tier benefit. For me, Iron Hands is going to be able to survive a lot of hits and be able to take damage and also give it out. Now, something I've seen in the community as a whole is that a lot of people are switching away from Wild Charge. And I did make an experiment of using like the protective pads to see if that helps with recoil, and it does not. So there's that. So we've got our Trick Roomer that is going to reset the speed if I do this open and, you know, that's it. Or I can literally open up with Hatterini Iron Hands and then literally set up Trick Room and have Fake Out to get rid of the obvious, you know, supporter or main attacker for my opponent's side of the field. Prankster, which is really, really funny with Klefki. Now, he may not be the best one, but Metal Sound is what sold it for me, as well as Recycle. His attacks of Play Rough and Flash Cannon don't really matter that much to me. Metal Sound, because it is a status move, gets a boost from Prankster, which means that I will use Metal Sound first. And because I use Metal Sound, I'm going to lower someone's special defenses 2 stages. And then when he gets hit down to where he pops his Citrus Berry, Recycle puts it right back into my Pokemon's hands, so that if he was weaker than that, he can maybe pop it again, and it keeps him alive for maybe an additional turn if he doesn't get knocked out in relative ease. He's not the strongest one, but if you had him paired up with, you know, Hatterini or Torkoal and he Metal Sounds someone, that's going to do an additional amount of damage, and it's going to be huge. So that's the whole premise on his side of the team here. And I did use him a couple of times in the tournament. Now, he may not have been able to use Metal Sound, but when he did, it did help out quite a bit. And then obviously the Amoonguss. I have him with Terra Ice, only because of the fact that I don't really know what else to set him with. I mean, you could do water. That way you only have to worry about, what was it? Electric and grass for that, but I think that a lot of people are using both of them, especially with Hariyama being still mainstream with like Thunder Punch or Volt Switch, or hell, you can even get away with Pokemon using Electro Ball. So that's gonna hurt like Among Us a lot, but it does take away from his obvious fire weakness. So you could probably even do fire just so that he doesn't get, you know, burnt. But I don't think that's really going to matter that much. His EV set is also weird for me. I don't think this is the traditional set by any means, but that's what I currently have him as. And I have Rage Powder, Spore, Sludge Bomb, and Pollen Puff. For the obvious heal for Pollen Puff, Sludge Ball because I would like an attack. It's not going to be anything strong, but it's an attack. Spore to put them automatically asleep. It's like 100% accuracy if I recall correctly. Yeah, it's 100% accurate, so it's going to work every single time. And then obviously Rage Powder. I did have Giga Drain at one time, and I am leaning towards having Giga Drain back, but as for right now, that's what I currently have. And that's just Team 3. Team 2 has along the same lines, but I switched it up a little bit more to have it a little bit more evenly raced. Torkoal Lilligant open. I have the Talonflame Garchomp open as well, and then I have support for Dragonite, who has been changed out of his choice band to now go to Assault Vest, and Lilligant, or not Lilligant, but Indeedee for the Psychic Surge. Now, because of the fact that Pokemon are protected under Psychic Surge, so like extreme speed won't hit Pokemon that are standing. I don't think it's gonna do anything to Talonflame at all, but we'll see. But just the fact that the people that get priority to do certain moves like extreme speed, this would turn that off. Even though people use Ice Spinner to get rid of that terrain as easy as possible, doesn't matter. That first turn until Ice Spinner goes off, we are protected from priority moves, and that's what really matters. And I think Fake Out is also one of those open, so I can't use Fake Out if Indeedee is on the field. I think because it does have priority, but it may not have the highest priority that's required. I mean, we'll try that out when we go to team fighting, and I think that's going to be up next. So this one is based on getting stuff around for the team and what I picked out for it, and then the rest is actually going to be team testing to make sure that it actually works. Because I undoubtedly I'll probably use one of these teams to the May Regional that's happening in Portland, Oregon. So, and I'm going to be competing. Like, I'm registered, I've got my own dedicated seat. So I got an entire month and a half to get a team up and running so that we can do really, really well. So, but I think that's it. Obviously, like I said, we changed out Protect, or Sword Stance to Protect for Garchomp, which now has Life Orb. Talonflame is going to be used more often for Tailwind and Taunt. I might take out Flare Blitz for Will-O-Wisp, but I think that set is going to be okay for now. Obviously, that has the Covert Cloak, so you don't fall. And then our obvious open for these. The only problem is if Trick Room ever hits this team, it's going to go slower. It has no counter. There's just no way to deal with it. So hopefully Dragonite can handle it, maybe. I don't know. I kind of feel the opposite with this team. Like, I have no way of dealing with Tailwind besides the Trick Room, and then that's it. But it makes it so cool to have, you know, a dedicated Trick Room team and then a debuffer. That's, to me, that's really, really sick. And I'll probably teach Klefki the screens just because of the fact that they are useful. They're super useful. That's going to be it for this video. I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed the team breakdown. I'll talk a little bit more about Team 4 now that I've had some time to reflect of how poorly this team was done, and then maybe go over some ideas for you guys to maybe even make this team a little bit better. And yeah, whatever team we hit Master Ball with, I'm just going to put this out there. I will create a code for you guys to try out the team yourselves and then see how you guys like it. It might be fun for a while. We'll see. But that's it, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching. We'll play with Team 2 first in the next fighting video, and then we'll go on from there. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.